Oh, another thing that we were going to talk about a little bit is there's always this comment about the degree of twist in these blades.
Sure. So we can cover a little bit of that. It's pretty easy when you think in terms of weight. So the heavier the product, the higher the pitch needs to be. Uh, we've kind of gotten into this groove of 18 degree, 18 degree, 18 degree. That's not always your best degree of blade for every crop. Heavy stemmed, well feeding, mild height product feeds really good at a high speed with an 18-degree blade.
Yep.
If we step down in some things that are like I'll go back to our hemp studies that we did. We actually dropped down to a 7-degree because it's so tall that it wouldn't feed. So we went with a 7-degree. We have less dirt and things from the vortex that though they create, which they liked again. They did lose a little bit of ground speed, but it's such a big product, we're losing a lot of ground speed anyway.
Right.
So the varying degrees really like the lighter stem, lighter weight, like prairie grasses and things of that nature, like a low degree blade. Get down to the 7 degrees, you won't get as much dirt, you'll get better flow, and you won't just get that vortex of it binding. So if you're getting binding in your head and it's piling up in the corners, you've got too much degree usually on your blade, and it's making this vortex that's just fluffing rather than feeding.
So that's a good thing to remember.
Yes.
You might have to have a couple different sets of blades in the warehouse or in the shop.
Sure.
And if you're having some trouble or you're in a hurry and you don't change and then you start having trouble, maybe that's one thing to be looking at is the degree pitch. Think about how it's going to feed through and just do some changes. It doesn't take a horribly long time to change. You figure out how much time it takes to sit there and unplug stuff and
Oh yeah.
fight versus just change the dang blades.
Yeah. Yeah, and the quick change equipment out there that's there, you can change super fast.
Yep.
And if you don't have that, even our wonderfully battery powered impacts that we have out there make this job so easy. There's really no excuse not to go ahead and change your blade if you're having a problem.
Yes.
And one other thing that I have found that's come up a lot more recently is uh, remember that there's other components involved in this system, the fastening hardware, the accelerators. If you're having feed issues, you've changed your blades and you're still having feed issues, or you're having skip in the field, your hardware usually is what's to blame there.
Right.
Those bolts, those fasteners, those holders, they get flat spots on them. They'll bind those blades and start to cause you problems. So after a couple sets of blades, you really need to look over your hardware too and take a look and make sure that that's in proper working order without a flat spot on
I think that's a fantastic comment because I wonder how many sets of blades on average people go through, or if they even ever go change some of those other components to make sure that the rest of the system's not wore out.
Exactly. We find that to be true. They'll flip a blade and they'll change a blade, but then the rest of the hardware gets worn out. Then they have feeding issues. That's when I get a call. Hey, your blades aren't feeding. It's usually not the blade's problem. Let's look at the rest of the program. And we find that that's usually the case. Is our hardware is the second thing to cause problems, and the turtles and accelerators from them will give you fits as well. But just look over the overall maintenance of the machine, especially in those down times between cuttings or in the fall when we're all done. Before we put it away, let's put some new hardware and some new products on there to get it to feed right.